here, So Wizard Podcast. Welcome to the So Wizard Podcast rundown of AFI's 100 Years, 100 Movies. Before we get started, please remember to subscribe to our channel. Really helps us grow our audience. And besides, you're not going to want to miss this list. Number 99 on the list is Toy Story. I'm going to say it again. I'll probably be saying it a lot, but I love this movie. In all seriousness, this is about as close to a perfect movie as you can get. Its industry impact is huge. It's easily in my top 10 of all time, and, once again, I feel like this should be a lot higher on the list. It brought the world Pixar, after all. Computer-generated animation is standard now. It's actually big news when a traditionally animated movie is made. When Toy Story debuted November 22nd, 1995, the talk was all about the technical aspects of the computer animation. Whether it would be a good movie or not was secondary. Steve Jobs was the head of the tiny upstart, Pixar, when they signed a $26 million deal for not just Toy Story, but 3 fully computer-animated movies. No studio had been able to pull it off at this point. It wasn't just a matter of making the movie itself. These companies were forging new ground. They had to create the software and hardware that would build the final product. If the team couldn't get the job done, their deal with Disney would be dead, and likely Pixar with it. So far, I've been talking like one of the potential audience members before the premiere, all about the tech. I want to steer the conversation into Toy Story as a movie. There's this nice gray area in the middle where the technology and innovations made and the story, as the movie as we know it, come together. Early computer animation was, for lack of a better word, crude. It let animators get into more detail on things that would be exhausting with pencils and ink, but it didn't offer the same fluidity. Geometric shapes and smooth surfaces were best. Organic things, like people, came across looking off, or sometimes terrifying in Toy Story. These limitations didn't stop the Toy Story team. Originally, they wanted to cut the humans out of the visuals completely, have them exist just off-screen. That did take some of the weight out of the movie, so they were ultimately put back in, but with limited screen time. Watching the movie, this actually never looks like a limitation. It puts the focus on the real heroes, the toys. With the team having a good understanding, through a lot of trials with mixed results, of the tech, they moved into the story. Disney is a name synonymous with quality. Walt Disney himself was passionate about using the technology of the time to its full potential in order to tell the story, not creating a story as a vehicle to show off some new tech. Having the story come first is what will resonate with movie fans. This is perfectly illustrated, sorry for the pun, by the period of Disney's slump in quality after 1966 when Walt passed away. Another downside to focusing on tech over story is that today's newest tech doesn't look so good in the not-so-distant future. The team looked into 2D classic animated movies from Disney, as well as timeless live-action classics such as The Wizard of Oz and Star Wars. I'm doing my best not to look ahead on this list, but I'm willing to bet both of those movies will show up down the line. These classics were inspirational, since the technology has clearly come a long way, but the movies stand the test of time anyway. Something that the creators of Toy Story were after. 25 years on, so far I'd say they hit the mark. The first few passes at the script give us a much darker movie. There seems to be a bit of debate amongst the information online. Some sources say the writers at Pixar were wanting the new endeavor to be more mature, and others blame the then chairman of Disney, Jeffrey Katzenberg. There's even a rumor floating around the internet that says Toy Story was 2 weeks away from being canceled altogether by Disney. Whatever the backstory to the conflict is, there is some evidence to support these rumors. There's animatics on many of the DVD and Blu-ray releases of Woody being a prick. In very early drafts, he was a villain. When the buddy comedy angle was implemented, Woody was softened a bit, but not nearly enough. Even by the time Tom Hanks was cast, he said that the character seemed like a real jerk. That rumor we were talking about Disney almost scrapping the projects 2 weeks away, well, seems to be some solid truth to that. The first half of the movie was played for Disney execs, a very rough version of course. The head of Disney Animation in 1993, Peter Schneider, despised the movie. He didn't like the idea of outsourcing an animated feature to begin with. Schneider wasn't alone. Katzenberg was surprised at how bad the movie was. He came to the realization that this version of the movie wasn't what Pixar wanted to make. It suffered from design by committee. The team at Pixar was given a mere 2 weeks to fix the mess. They scrapped all the outside influence changes. They focused hard on the friendship angle and made Woody a likable character. If you look deep into the themes of the movie, there is some darkness there. Buzz Lightyear is disillusioned. He's told by everybody he isn't special. He's the same as everyone else. It's kind of a shocking message in a kid's movie, but the ideas of being comfortable with who you are and standing by your friends prevail. When Toy Story was on its way to theaters, all the buzz, these puns are inescapable, was around the tech. When Toy Story debuted in theaters, audiences, young and old, ate it up. The movie was #1 at the box office 3 weeks in a row. People loved it. Critics loved it as well. One thing that wasn't mentioned too often was the technology behind the movie. This is exactly what the Toy Story team wanted. The little movie that changed animation forever, and almost never happened, is reported to have a budget of a mere $30 million. It's unclear to me exactly how this breaks down between the 3-picture deal reworking large parts of the movie and advertising costs, but it opened only to $29 million, and would eventually go on to gross $364 million worldwide. The money it made is almost insignificant when you look at the great work Pixar and Disney have done together. Pixar is now part of Disney, for those of you who don't know, but the Toy Story franchise alone has grossed over $3 billion. And that's just the main 4 franchise films. A slew of other merchandise, TV specials, and video games inflate these numbers further. Toy Story was nominated for 3 Oscars in 1995. John Lasseter received a Special Achievement Award by the Academy for the development and inspired application of techniques that have made possible the first feature-length computer animated film. There it is. Number 99 on the 10th anniversary edition AFI's 100 Years, 100 Movies list. Come back next Friday to see what number 98 is. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel for more. Also, be sure to listen to So Wizard Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. So Wizard Podcast can be found on Patreon, where for as little as $1, you get multiple monthly bonus shows. Check out SoWizardPodcast.com for reviews, recommendations, all new merchandise, and more. In fact, So Wizard Podcast is celebrating 6 years of excellent podcasting with no weeks off. To celebrate, all the merchandise is on sale for a limited time. Go to SoWizardPodcast.com and hit the link for TeePublic, or go to TeePublic and search So Wizard Podcast. We love hearing feedback, so leave something in the comments or drop us a line on social media. All of our accounts can be found after the show.